Ron Swanson, where he takes a picture of Big Ben and he's like, "Oh, look, a clock. We don't have that in America." All right, so we'll go to the Western Conference Finals right now. Golden State's up 3-1. It doesn't look like Dallas is going to have a chance. Dallas has had some big leads in this series, and they just can't seem to hold on to any of them. Do you think there's any chance at all that the Luka Doncic Dallas Mavericks can pull this out, or is this just over and it's just a matter of time?
Well, Dallas was down 3-0, and teams that fall 3-0 in the NBA playoffs are 0 and 146 all time. So going off numbers alone, I'm saying no. And if I'm looking at rosters, I'm saying no. Now, they won the one game, but they got hot from 3. But you're going to play that game against Golden State.
Yeah.
To me, you got to bring something different if you're going to take out Golden State at least 4 times. And they don't have enough.
I mean, it's like what you were saying about Houston earlier. They tried to beat them at their own game, and they still couldn't. Like, it's hard to do it better than they do.
Dallas, I think Dallas is led by 20 points or more, 3 out of the 4 games they've had so far, and they're down 3-1.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the one shining spot outside of Luka, obviously, has been Jalen Brunson. You know, he was in Villanova. He was Player of the Year. And he's really come out. I think he's at about 20 points a game now in the playoffs. And that gives you a hope for the future outside of Luka. But they're about 2 players away, 2 good players away. They need Porzingis to work out.
Yeah, I was going to say, Porzingis not working out hurt them a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And
where did he end up?
Honestly, I'm not even sure where they traded.
I can't even remember. I don't even know if he played much this year.
I forget the trade that they had for him, but you know, it was a failed. You know, you saw him in New York, and he looked like, you know, they called him the big, unicorn.
Yeah,
like,
unicorn.
Special. And he just, I think he had trouble, if I'm remembering it right, that he had problems with Luka having the ball all the time and being the star. But it's like, we're not hearing from him. I'm just going to recall where he's at right now. So maybe there's a reason why Luka had the ball and you didn't.
Yeah. They were both promised that they were the next Dirk, and there can only be one next Dirk.
It'd be like Derek Fisher getting mad at Kobe because he handles the ball too much.
Golden State is just they're about as hot a team that's left in this right now as you can find. They're the hottest team. Curry and Clay. Now, Clay's not playing his best, but he's playing solid enough. But the thing there's Poole, and he's been an emerging star for them. He's about 18 points a game in the playoffs. But the thing that gets me is Wiggins is playing really good basketball. Regarding the last game, but overall he's playing really good basketball, and Looney's playing good basketball. So now you've got 4 legit wings in Curry, Clay, Poole, and Wiggins. Worry about on the perimeter. You got Looney, and all he's doing basically is reaping the benefits of pick and roll and receiving passes off dribble drive and getting offensive rebounds. He's just your garbage guy picking things up, and Draymond Green's just creating things, passing the ball off to all those wings. They're looking like a well-oiled machine. Andre Iguodala is expected to return to the NBA Finals, which who knows how much he can contribute, but he's got that experience. Those timely, wily veterans just can make that one play in that one moment. You never know if he can.
If he can give you like 8 to 10 good minutes a game, that can be huge.
How old is Iggy now? Like when I was first
73
the basketball, maybe 2004, 2005. I remember he was there. I remember watching him.
I loved him, and I loved him in Philly. Whenever he was the only thing in Philly.
Back in the 80s.
Has-been for the oldest player in the league.
Yeah. I guess some good young players. Jonathan Kuminga, I like a lot. I mean, this team, they're just so well versed. I mean, they've been like their core 3: Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Draymond. They just have so much connection. They just play so well together. It seems like you could almost plug and play. Like, I mean, Andrew Wiggins, the only player on the team number one overall. Was Wiseman number 1 overall? But he's hurt.
Wiseman was number 1 overall. Now, he's never been what you would think of as number 1 pick, but he is, about 10, 12 points a game. The thing is, hurt. He's hurt. He's out. He's not available. Golden State has really benefited from the injury bug, though. I go back to that Chris Paul injury. if Chris Paul's not injured, they're playing Phoenix. And to me, that would have been the matchup to see. But, it reminds me of, it's like sometimes the Spurs and the Lakers played in the Western Conference Finals, and it's like that's the NBA Finals. Like that's the real matchup. Well, to me, the Western Conference Finals should have been Phoenix versus Golden State, but Dallas got lucky, and Luka got hot, and Brunson came along, and so did Dinwiddie, which is the coolest last name ever. But and then they advanced. So Golden State's had good fortune. They've been able to get Morant was injured, and things are just kind of sometimes it's just that we talked about before that war of attrition. Their guys are healthy, other teams things are falling apart, and things are falling into place for Golden State right now. They're looking, you see who's left standing between Boston and Miami. They could go 7. Who knows?
Yeah, and if they go, like you said, if they go 7 and Boston wins that, I mean that's 14 games out of the last 2 rounds, and that's a lot of basketball. And then you get to a team like Golden State who can definitely run the floor, and so that'll definitely be interesting. But taking a look at the NBA Finals, we're assuming Golden State pulls out and advances on to the championship.
Yeah.
And we talked earlier about how we think Boston's going to move on. So how do you think the matchup between Boston and Golden State looks like?
Well, Warriors will have a home court advantage over whoever wins from the East, whether it be Miami or Boston. Now, let's see.
How does that work?
So they had the straight up better record than Boston. Now, Miami and the Warriors had the same record. They both had 53 wins, but the Warriors beat the Heat in both games in the regular season, so they get the nod on that for the NBA Finals. So Golden State's looking at home court advantage no matter who comes out of it. Like we just talked about, they win, they'll definitely have some rest, and they might have a great amount of rest compared to whoever comes out if it goes 7. And 14 out of the last 20 NBA Finals have been won by the team with home court advantage. So a lot of things going for them. I want to pick Boston. I really do. Because that's who I bet earlier. And I feel bad, because I told Cube Boston.
I put a little on it too.
Yeah, I know you put a little something on it. So I'll be a jerk and be like, no, I'll go back on it.
Hey, I got time to hedge.
Man, I think Vegas would open up and they give it to Golden State, which you'd have to, because you look at what they had for their run. They had 3 championships in 5 years. All 5 years they had NBA Finals appearances. Then they had the 2-year lapse where Klay was injured and KD left, and now they're back. So you have to put them as the favorite. If I had to bet my life on it, I would go Golden State. I think that's where I'm conflicted. My head says Golden State, my heart says Boston, and that's where I'm at with it right now.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't watched enough basketball this year. This is probably the least amount of basketball I've watched in an NBA season in a very long time. Having a newborn at home kind of cuts into that a little bit with how much NFL and college football I watch. I have to give up something for my wife. So it kind of just landed on basketball. So hopefully, as my son gets older, we'll be able to watch more basketball and he'll want to watch it. But for me, it's hard not to just take Steph Curry here. I mean, I love Steph Curry whenever he was still a young buck, running and gunning in the NBA, and everybody was like, "Oh, his ankles aren't going to hold up. He's going to be washed." I mean, he's a good shooter. He'll never be anything more than a decent shooter in the league, a role player. And watching him turn into a unanimous MVP and absolutely taking over the league, I know a lot of people got Steph fatigue. I'm still a big Steph fan, so I'm taking the Warriors here.
Yeah.
So, Chris, if you were coaching Boston, how would you try to stop Golden State? And then on offense, how would you attack them?
Well, you got to attack them with size. That's the one advantage they should have over them, is that they are bigger. And you got to make it physical. You got to make it an ugly, slow down the pace of the game. You don't want to get in a track meet with these guys. The more shots they go up, the better chances you have of losing because they're better shooters than you. So you want to slow it down. Football analogy, run the ball. And you want to make it an ugly game. They should have, you got to go through Tatum and you got to go through Brown. Now, as far as offensively goes, you got to dare Draymond Green to shoot and hope he doesn't hit, because something's got to give. You can't guard everybody tight on the perimeter. Now, the one thing I do see Draymond Green do, which is I think is just so clever, teams sag off him. So this defender's nowhere to be found. He gets the ball. Most guys would just shoot it because I have all this space. I'm open. Well, you're open for a reason. You suck at shooting threes. What he does instead, he dribble hands off to Clay or Steph. They come off of his pick. And because his man sees him down so far, there's nobody to help. And now Steph and Clay get a three every now and then. So it's tough to really play off him that much because he'll find the shooter, dribble handoff, set that little pick for him, and now they got a clean shot. But you got to dare him to shoot the best you can.
And you can kind of get away with a moving screen there if you're handing the ball off as they're shooting too. So you can get away with like moving directly in front of them as you're handing it off.
Yeah, and I think you got to play physical. I'm going old school and it's tough to do in today's game, but I think you got to get physical. You've got to hit Steph. You've got to hit Clay. You got to get them uncomfortable. You got to get them out of their rhythm. Steph got hit in the quad and he's kind of limping a little bit. I know it's called differently. You'll get a tech for breathing on somebody, but you got to hit them. You got to make them uncomfortable. You got to try and get them out of their rhythm. You can't.
I feel like that can be hit or miss with Steph. Sometimes it makes him better. It seems.
Yeah, but I feel like that is who Marcus Smart is, and I feel like if Boston's going to win, they're going to have to do it. Like
Marcus Smart will fight a fan if he needs to. I've seen it before. Give us a like, give us a comment, subscribe, rate it 5 stars, all the good stuff. Support the boys. Let us know what we can do to improve. If you would like us to talk about anything that we don't talk about, or any specific details that you think we might gloss over, or anything, help us out. Help us help you. We want to give
for the boys.
Want to give everybody the best content we can. So appreciate you for listening, and don't sleep on the Lions.
Don't do it.